Sometimes the universe was telling us not to do it, and yet we thought we missed the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. I will tie this particular segment from the peak of real estate to today's market and real estate values. And maybe you're blessed because you did not take these real estate ventures. Also in this video, I would like to talk about the actual decision alignment, which I believe, I wrote them down, there are 3 steps in actually getting to the right decision and what caused these peaks basically in real estate market and how it can translate to a different market moving forward. Also, I have a personal story from a friend of mine, which I love this guy, and I've seen this gentleman grow from zero. He made some extraordinary moves, made a lot of money, but then I personally believe he went into something that he did not align himself with. And it's very important. It's not only money, it's alignment. So I'll tell you the story quickly and we'll kind of wrap it. But the whole idea of the video is kind of the alignment of decision making, and you don't miss all the opportunities in your life. You just have to remember that, right? Like we went through real estate opportunities, we went through Google opportunities, went through Amazon opportunities, went to Bitcoin opportunities, stock market opportunities. There's all kinds of these big ticket opportunities that we might have missed, but sometimes one door shuts close and the other one opens, but you have to be in the alignment. So I'll take my note and we'll just go step by step into these 3 important segments. So is this who I am? So this is something that it's really important to know. Is this who you really are? Because most people are thinking about the money, right? And you heard that before. If you like or love what you do, you will never work a day of your life. Partially it is true or fully true, but most people are focusing just on the financial sector, right? So that's a very important question. So what's the worst that can happen in this scenario? So this is something that a lot of people did not take into consideration in our real estate peak market. And I'll get into it from a different angle. So let me put it this way. Most people, like if you were talking to a bank, broker, mortgage broker, bank teller, in that world, they would say the actual amount of money that I'm investing, that basically that money they're calculating, and that's the outcome. So if they invest $100,000 as a down payment on $1 million home, that's 10%. If that home jumps by 10%, basically they double their money. That's how they're calculating, because $100,000, $1 million, some investment, the banks take the risk as what they like to say. It's not true, but partially true. And then if the property jumps from $1 million to $1.1 million, that's $100,000 gain. They put $100,000 down. So basically in their head, it's 100% win or gain. But the risk factor that most people are not calculating is that actually, what are you locking yourself with? Like, what kind of debt are you taking on? What kind of agreements are you signing? Whether it's time related or sum related, the value. What did you have to do in order to actually get that? And what I'm trying to say is that, 10% down, let's say $100,000, but they would have to take a line of credit from their condo or their other real estate portfolio or house in order to fulfill the action on the other side. So that type of risk or scenario, people are not evaluating properly. The worst case scenario. And let me tell you guys, in the peak, when the numbers were rolling in on daily basis positively, most people did not take worst case scenario at all. Like that was not even on the table. And if you said something as a friend, they would shut you down because like, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you're crazy. Look at the numbers. Like numbers don't lie. Everything. Anyways, you get the point. Worst case scenario was not evaluated properly. Number two. So number three, and it is very important, handling the financial or emotional sector. So let me explain this properly. All right. So if you're putting down $100,000 on $1 million project, so that's 10%, no problem. Most people are chasing that gain, that equity gain, and that's the financial sector of that. And they say, well, it's not a problem, right? I invest $100 million, I gained $100,000, then I can buy two, three, I can multiply, I can do this, I can do that. So they're calculating it financially. But there's the other sector, which is emotionally, right? Because at one point, it becomes gambling. And that's the secret where people stopped being rational and they become delusional and they start to double up on things because the only portion that they see, it's the gain. I gain 10% on $1 million, 5%, 30%, whatever the case is. Then they become delusional and then they start to pull or make moves that might not be as safe. So that ties in perfectly with my friend, right? Like perfect guy, solid family, did the business, hardworking, but then started getting into, I would say, above his threshold or above his head. I understand, dream big, do this, do that. But at one point, he started taking on projects that were above his threshold. Number one, knowledge, right? He got into something that he did not know much, but he believed and he did a great job learning quick. Do you understand? Learning quick. Like he learned that field extremely fast. But I felt that's not his love. Like being involved in that project seemed like the financial part is solid. But what kind of screwed him, literally screwed him, is the emotional aspect. Because he said to himself, me talking to him, I tried not digging information, I just tried kind of calming him down because I said, like, look, you're touching into some other parts that are emotional and you can make mistakes, right? Like take more credit on your house, put other maybe real estate portfolios into jeopardy because you put all the eggs into one basket and now it becomes personal, right? And he could not lose the money, I feel, or lose the project because he pushed himself into this state where he was like, oh my gosh. And then it became delusional. Like, let's go all in, baby, all in, right? And then once the tower of cards started to fold, it like then I believe it was the freeze, and this is where other parts come into play, and this is exactly where we are in our real estate market. Because if people made a choice, whether a good, bad, median, high, volatile, risky, emotional purchase, and now they have to deal with it. And dealing with something is extremely difficult when you're left on the field alone. And this is where family gets into play. And I've seen it. I've seen in 2023, 4, 5, and beginning of 2026, I've seen, I would say, at least a couple of 100 families where the blame and the weight is only, I would say, shifted to one partner, right? Husband, wife, or partners, or girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever, right? Partners. And it is crazy. And carrying that burden, it's extremely tough and hard, because if the scenario was different, think about that for a second. If it was different, then the outcome obviously would have been different, and it would be positive cash flow, millions of dollars. I'm set, I'm ahead by 2 decades from my peers, and all of that nonsense. So, but now because of this scenario, if there's no support and if there's no figuring out what's the worst case scenario, who am I, do I belong here, what can I do, who is supporting me sincerely and truly. And let me tell you guys, sometimes only small words that are sincere or that are said sincerely can make a huge difference to your partner. We trust you. We believe in you. We're in it together. We can make it. Let's rejig whatever we're into. Do you understand what I'm saying? And one aspect that I see now more than ever is, if somebody made it one way or another, they play the cards right, the universe showed them, the gut feeling, their gut, whatever, right? Never, ever be jealous. Never, ever envy. Never, ever talk bad about it. Bless them. It is what it is. I did not take the move. They did. They succeeded. Good for them. So I hope you gained value out of this video. It was a little bit different than my other videos, but like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.